Today on the Tiger Football Report, we'll look back at the Tigers' opening day victory against the Morgan State Bears. Get ready, fans. The Tiger Football Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome, Tiger fans, to another edition of the Tiger Football Report with Coach Rob Ambrose. I'm Spiro Morekas, and Coach, the Tigers got the season off to a victory, 10-0 over Morgan. I know that this may be the perfect storm for you. You got the victory, but you get to keep your players' attention this week because there are a lot of things you got to do better.
Well, we got the win. Thank you. We got the win, and that's the reason that you line up, the reason you get dressed, the reason you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning in January is to get the win. And I had a buddy of mine who's in the coaching profession that says, I followed your career and that you've been a part of some very sexy losses in your career, some big points and big stats. He goes, and on occasion, you've been a part of some really ugly wins. Which one feels better? The wins.
Absolutely.
Always the wins. But while we did a lot of good stuff, there's clearly a lot that needs to be worked on. And if you watch college football all across the country right now, you'll see some really good things, and then you'll see some really boneheaded things. And no matter how long we make camp, until we play someone else, hit a different color, somebody else that moves differently, somebody you're not used to, you really can't grow and learn. And we got a lot of growing and learning to do.
Let's start with the real positive, and that is you guys get the shutout. First shutout for Towson since middle of the season in 2015 against Delaware. First time the Tigers have opened with a shutout since 1983 when they beat New York Tech 60-0.
Who? What is that?
I remember that game.
I'm sure you do. You've seen them all.
Sean Landetta had a moment with Phil Albert in that game. But anyway, the Tigers get the shutout victory, and for your defense, the thing that was really impressive, last year 9 interceptions the entire season. This game, 3 interceptions in 1.
One of the things that we have been discussing ad nauseum in the offseason was turnovers. And obviously in offense, you don't ever want to give the ball over, and we had conversations about how we can alleviate some of the mistakes from the year before. But how can we force more turnovers? And the number one thing, it's been the hardest thing to do, is put pressure on the quarterback. And we have done that in this game better than we've done in a lot. And because of it, we put them in bad situations to throw bad balls. And our guys, instead of, I think we might have dropped 1, which normally we would drop all but 1. So I got a lot of jokes in the offseason about Monty and how good of a safety he is and how great of a hitter he is. And we didn't really talk about interceptions. And I defended him to the nth degree all summer. And he made me right come Saturday.
He sure did. Returned it to the 2-yard line, which led to the only touchdown of the football game. Speak a little more about Monty, because this is a kid that he's had a lot of playing time since the day he got here.
He really has, and he's an older guy. He's a veteran guy. He's seen a lot of football. He knows a lot of football. He's in a position to mentor some younger guys now. But in truth, because he's seen a lot of football, he didn't really have a good camp. He really didn't, and we were disappointed in some of the lack of physicalness, and maybe he was just being nice to his own players. But even his position coach, Coach Tricario, said, "Well, that's better." And it's, it's what you expect from a veteran. A guy who knows how to work through his role. He was in great shape, but he just wasn't going to put his body through hell in camp, and he was reckless come Saturday.
Let's move to the linebackers. Bryce Carter, the freshman, gets CAA Rookie of the Week. He had a tremendous performance for you guys.
He really did. He's a kid that we saw, we knew, a year ago. Like if you looked at him, you go, "You play football?" He just doesn't look like that guy. But if he puts his hands on you, he plays football. He plays it very violently, and then afterwards he smiles. And it was, when they gave me the total tallies, I really was not surprised. I think he's a guy who's going to help us and be successful in defense for many years to come.
And Keon Pay, who was at a safety position, he moved the linebacker. He had a tremendous game for you.
Now, you talk about recruiting. You go recruit. You recruit good people who are good football players who are going to make your institution better. Keon Pay was recruited as a wideout. Who got moved to safety, who is now Sam linebacker, and right now, after watching that game, he's probably one of the best Sam linebackers in the league. And he's young. He's got a lot of football left to play. So I'm feeling pretty good about this.
All right, let's look at the offense.
Let's.
Let's, yes. You get the touchdown. It was a big 2-yard drive. Shane Simpson gets the score. First play of the game, Shane runs for 8 yards. That was your best running play of the game. What was it that Morgan was doing that shut down the attack rushing the football?
It's probably a combination of two things. One, they're an extremely veteran defense. That there's a ton of, why all their numbers changed from the year before, there's a ton of veterans on that defense. And we had 3, is that right? So we had 3 offensive linemen that started their first game in a Tiger uniform against a veteran crew. Not that we weren't strong enough to handle it, but combine that with the fact that they packed the box and blitzed 92% of the game. So they put too many guys in the box for us to really be successful. And we just figured at a very early spot we weren't going to do that to Shane. We weren't going to let him get beat like that. So we knew we had to get the ball on the perimeter. They did a good job defensively, schematically against us. And their game plan was to pack the box, not allow us to run. And then if we threw it and we were open, they were going to get PIs because they weren't going to give up touchdowns. And it's an interesting game plan that was good. It probably would have helped them out better if they had the lead, but they didn't. And as we got later into the game, the ability with the weather to put those guys in bad positions in the second half and pin them inside the 1 and make field position plays, it was a smarter way to go about the victory. But offensively, we need to do better. I don't think we put our kids in a very good position to be successful versus that type of defense. And even though we're dealing with a new coordinator and new staff and all those unknowns, we need to be able to adjust better on the fly.
All right, well, the Tigers get the victory over Morgan, 10-0. That completes the first part of the Maryland part of the Towson University schedule, because next week it is the Terrapins. Tune in later this week on TowsonTigers.com when Coach Ambrose and I discuss the Tigers' second ever meeting against the University of Maryland Terrapins. For head coach Rob Ambrose, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for watching this edition of the Tiger Football Report.